May the 5th. Great meeting you here. Grab your coffee and let's get smarter together. The social psychologist Margaret Shea did some research that involved Asian American women and math. She chose Asian American women because they are subject to two opposing stereotypes concerning math. One, Asian Americans are generally seen as really good at math, but women are stereotyped to be bad at math. Not me. I did my A-levels in math. For the research, these women were reminded either of their gender or their ethnicity before they were given a math test. Which identities they were reminded of affected their test results. Those reminded of their ethnicity scored better than those reminded of their gender. This proves that our self shifts according to what the environment defines us as. I bring up this research because I've now repeatedly stated that Uber explorers needed retainers to exist, but never given you the science behind it. Today I want to do just that. Shortly. For anyone who wants to go deeper into this subject, I recommend Professor Brian Lowry's book, Self, The Social Creation of You. His main claim is our experience of ourselves is fully defined and constructed by the community around us. And that makes sense when you look at everything else science tells us about our experience of reality. Whereas whatever this is, what exists in and around us, this big bad chaos. From that, our cells and bacteria collect a massive amount of data. Though, by far, they do not record all there is. They then communicate this data along with their goals to every other part. That's what it means to be a holobiont. No secrets. Thanks to time and metabolic restraints, the model of the world and the self as an actor in it, pursuing a specific goal in that specific moment, will always only represent the tiniest slice of the available data and therefore only one of a multitude of selves that could have possibly been created. Consciousness, as we experience it, is therefore only a necessity because of the restraints we have. It's a sign of our limitation. And this limitation means that once we interact with different sets of people in a different environment who show up to our parts as an influx of different data, our parts have to react to. That leads to different goals again, and we end up generating a different model of the world with a different bundle of information inside the boundary that defines us. But just that we have drawn the line and have created this self inside us doesn't make it necessarily an identity. Especially when it comes to social identities, identities that are explicitly about who we are connected to, who we are like. For them, it takes a second step. The community that defines that identity knows of the existence of a bundle of data with that label on it, accepts your claim, meaning you show up for them carrying this bundle of data inside you. What's important to understand here is we are located on the level of perception. That's a level up from the factual level. A selection and bundling of the actually available data has already happened. It is very subjective already. So in the end, what establishes an identity is not that it's factually true or false, nor that you have established it for you as true, but that others around you accept it as an existing label that fits you. Then is a new bundle packed so that previously unknown identities arise and people can be recognized as such. As soon as enough people feel a connection to the concept, the way the data is lumped together and put into a box. Uber Explorer wasn't an identity until enough people took issue with the idea that time doing manual, meaning standardized label, should cut their time to explore short, and therefore created a category of people who should be allowed to turn this idea on its head and only explore. And a person believing themselves to be an Uber explorer only became an Uber explorer the moment when these people then acknowledged that the Uber explorer identity was part of this particular person's self. The retainers made it happen. And once the label was attached, it influenced the Uber explorer's behavior, as Margaret Chase proved in her research. Think. Make a habit out of thinking. Let's turn thinking into a movement. Like, comment, share, and follow, lest you miss a single opportunity to improve yourself and society. And just like that, coffee break is over again. See you next time at the coffee pot.